It's the Wake Up Call with Ed and Paul, the podcast about stories in business and in life, with your hosts Ed Fox and Paul Odendahl. G'day viewers and listeners, it's Ed Fox and Paul Odendahl with another great episode of Wake Up Call with Ed and Paul. Doesn't matter when you're listening to this, whether it's 3 o'clock in the morning, 7 o'clock in the morning, 10 o'clock at night. You're going to get some good information. We're going to wake you up with what we find out. Paul, over to you.
Do we include humor in this?
Well, you and I are on it, so we have to include.
So Dr. Patricia Kaine is nodding her head yes, because I was going to ask you, where in the world did you come up with this was going to be a great call? How do you assume this might be a terrible call?
If God's involved, it's not terrible. It's going to be great. So put your smile on.
And this is why I invited Patricia. What a lead in. And this is why I invited the doctor here. So Ed, this is another alignable connection. You ever heard of alignable, Ed?
Oh, yeah, maybe once or twice.
Okay, so this is another alignable connection that I met. What a blessing. And I don't want to give too much away. Dr. Patricia, when we did our one-to-one, talked about her past. I talked about my past. What amazing similarities. And such a blessing. She began to talk to me about a book that she has written, which I would like her to talk about today also. And more importantly, I referred her to a family member of mine who is suffering with some issues personally, and she is now assisting my family member. And I'm sorry, Ed, but I got an autographed copy of the book. You may not have got an autographed copy of the book, but I got an autographed copy. But I bring these quality guests to our wake-up call.
Folks, can you...
And after all that... Oh, go ahead, Ed.
Can you believe this? Paul does an excellent job at finding great guests. I don't know how these people put up with him. Patricia, I really like your background right now. It looks like you've got a butterfly wing coming out right there. It's pretty handy there. That's cool. That's sweet.
I do.
Yeah. Well, good to have you on the show. So tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do.
I am surprised that you didn't do the biography because I hate talking about myself. But I'm a retired physician. I'm a mom. I'm a grandma. I've in the 1990s, I was told I wouldn't live to the year 2000 because I had a rare condition where my body was turning my lungs into scar tissue.
Okay.
With a miracle, completely gone. Not only did it reverse, I have no scar tissue left in my lungs at all, and that's totally impossible according to science. I've been on the Dr. Oz show twice because of that. Fast forward beyond that, though, I've also am a breast cancer survivor and a suicide ideation survivor, and I think Paul has me on the show primarily because of my suicide history.
Patricia, I'm the one on the call that interrupts all the time. So even the guest, how rude am I? Even the guest. So how come Ed and I haven't been on the Dr. Oz show?
Because you didn't get cured of idiopathic pulmonary fibrosis.
Yeah, try spelling that 3 times real fast, or even saying it.
PF is the abbreviation.
There you go. I can do that. My dad used to say supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Now I bet you can't spell it. I'm like, no clue. He says IT.
IT.
Yeah. That's my dad, though. He was always good. Somebody said, what's the best piece of advice you got from your dad? I said, well, every time we drove past the cemetery, he said, that's the dead center of town. So I measured everything out from that. So worked. So Patricia, tell us about the book you've written and where can people find it?
Before I do that, I've got to say, everybody's dying to get to the dead center of town.
Yeah, I wonder why, are they putting the gates up to keep them in or keep them out? I'm not sure which.
What's with all these dead jokes? The one that April pulls on me all the time is every time we drive by. How many do you think are dead in there?
All of them.
Hopefully all of them.
Except the ones that are visiting.
That's right. Yeah, I always thought that, the old churches where they had the graveyards right beside them so that you could go visit, and they have picnic tables and stuff. I always thought that was a pretty cool thing to do. I don't know why we've gotten away from that, but
It just ran out of land.
yeah, I want a resin headstone that you can actually has an embedded solar panel and a button, and it tells a dad joke every time you press it. And on my tombstone, it's going to say, "I told you I was sick."
All right, so I got to start the wake up call with Ed and Paul GoFundMe page.
So, Patricia, tell me a little bit about what led you to write the book and who the book is for as well.
Okay. First of all, the name of the book is Empowered Butterfly Method.
Okay.
And the reason for the name is because we empower people to go from distress, in my case, suicidal thoughts, to hope in the time it takes to go to the bathroom.
Right.
And nature gives you many times to practice it, at least 3 times a day. And new habits take 21 times. So within a week, you can have your new habits down and be looking at hope.
Hmm.
I was from 78 to 90, I was hospitalized 4 times because I was wanting to end my own life, and chose hospitalization instead. I've had 5 family members commit suicide in the 25 years before that. Since coming up with the butterfly method, 0 hospitalizations, 0 family members dying by suicide, and I've never had to write suicide as the cause of death on a patient chart because I taught them the butterfly method.
Right. So, well, one of the cool things about that is, mental health in this day and age is having more conversations, right? Which is great. I think people don't realize that suicidal thoughts can happen to anybody. It doesn't matter whether you're a doctor, doesn't matter whether you're a ditch digger, and everybody in between. We see that a lot. Even in my own family, I've seen that, in Australia and over here, that those thoughts happen. And I've never I suffer from depression. It's never got quite that bad, but it's been close, right? And so talking about this and finding out that there's ways to work on this and handle this and deal with this. Paul, have you ever had that sort of issue?
Well, that's a private conversation for our public broadcast here, but I'm transparent. So I shared with Patricia. I share with people that I meet. So the answer is yes.
Right.
So the answer is, and we won't get, this call is not to get into my upbringing. There's a lot of that has to do with the upbringing. And I was so grateful to meet her and receive the book and start to read the book, because another thing that people need to know, I don't know anything about alcohol abuse or drug abuse, because neither of those I've been blessed have not been involved in.
Right.
But depression, as you brought up, or suicidal thoughts, Ed, even if you've had them many years ago, can rear their ugly head again.
Right.
So just like alcohol and drug abuse, we have to talk about it, and you have to be prepared. It's not something that just disappears. It's something that you have to be prepared to meet head on when that ugly thought rears its head once again.
Well, we've
And
had a great
clearly,
guest
this
on.
is a great book to help you with that.
Right. And we've had another great guest on, Michael Weitzman, who's talked about the struggles, not necessarily suicidal, but just mental health struggles. So, Patricia, go into it a little bit, or as much as you would like to, about the process and how you came up with it.
During my hospitalizations, they taught many things that help. Things like deep breathing, progressive relaxation, visualization, etc. The problem is to do all of them the way they're taught takes over 2 hours a day.
Wow.
I was a single parent, mother of 5, working 68 hours a week. No way I had that time.
Right.
And in our modern world, most people don't anyhow.
True.
So what I did is, with my creative mind, I go, well, what if I do them at the same time? And I literally mush things together. Things like stop therapy is exit. In other words, instead of a policeman blows his whistle, everybody stops and looks. my way of doing it, I have to go to the bathroom. Everybody stops and lets you go. So on the way to the bathroom, I did deep breathing, one hand on my heart and one hand on the gut. There's reasons for that. I'm not going to take time to get into it now. On the breath in, think I am. On the breath out, relax. Hand on the belly moving, you're breathing perfectly. Hand on the heart moving, breathe deeper. Because you want to oxygenate your entire lung. So now you're doing a mantra, deep breathing, and all at the same time on the way to the bathroom. So it doesn't take additional time.
Right.
Once you get to the bathroom, you sit down on the commode because now little kids can do it, but us older people had to learn first. It's progressive relaxation. That's where you tighten a muscle, relax it. And I start at the feet and go to the head. I've done it so often now, I just have to say, relax, and I'm an immediate ragdoll. Little kids can be an immediate ragdoll also. And that's the thing, because a tight muscle holds stress and holds negativity. So that's why you want to relax. Once you relax, you visualize the mental crap going down your spine into the commode where the physical crap goes. I see you're doing it right as we're thinking about it.
Right.
And when all the mental crap is gone, then nature doesn't like a vacuum. You think of something that's happy, joyful for you. So you replace it with a good thought. So you envision you in your happy place. For me, it's on the side of a mountain. There's a brook there. I can smell the flowers. I can hear the birds. See the sun. The whole thing. So I'm inviting all my senses in. The thing is what is unique about humans, whether it's in your mind or whether it's in reality, we take it all as being real. So you can really be there. Once you're in your happy place, you flush the negative away. That brings in auditory. You wash your hands of it, brings in tactile. But by bringing in all these different senses, you're reaffirming the neural pathway because you're getting everything involved. You come out with a plan to either go to your happy place, write about it, draw a picture of it, talk to somebody about it. If for some reason you can't do that, then you need to call a hotline, because that's saying you are further than just the idea stage. You're at more of the planning stage, and you need to get help. This is like kind of like a river. You're a half mile away from the falls, this works. If you're 2 feet away from the falls, it doesn't. You need the hotline. So I'm trying to pull people out of this suicidal river before they get close to the falls.
Right.
I love this natural approach. I love visualization. That's what I'm all about. And now you've helped me to remind me that each time after I go to the bathroom, I have to wash my hands and reach out to Ed. That's my happy place.
Okay.
I have to reach out to Ed Fox. That's my happy place.
And fortunately, in this day and age, even though you're on different continents, it's easy to do.
Well, we are actually on the same continent. Well, you didn't know much about me, but I'm an Aussie, but I live in Nashville. So,
okay.
So we are close, although New York's half a world away, seems like somebody's.
And many times the thoughts of people in New York are very different than the thoughts of people in Nashville also.
That's true.
That has been true. We went up and visited April and Paul last September, was it? August?
August.
Last August. Man, that's almost a year. And anyway, I kept saying, wow, this is a New York attitude, isn't it? I think Paul was getting ready to punch me on the nose because I said it so often, but it is true. So what should somebody know, Patricia, about what you've just taught? They can get your book. Can they get it from Amazon? Do they go to the...
Absolutely.
Yeah, okay.
It's Empowered Butterfly Method. It's on Amazon. If you hold for 1 second. I'll bring over so you can see a copy of it.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So, Paul, how far have you gotten through the book?
I've only started to look at the first chapter,
Mm.
and I'm in the process of delivering it to my family member who is in need of the book. So I haven't reviewed all of it yet, though I have some time coming up where I'll be able to do some additional reading, which will be a blessing.
Right. Yeah, I'm just looking at. Is
I
it?
wanted to mention it's been #1 in the United States, Germany, multiple countries. When Patricia comes back, she can also share with us. There is a copy of it.
Cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
green
right
screen.
if you hold it right in front of you. Yep, right in front of you. There you go.
9 steps. What did that say at the bottom? I didn't catch it.
9 steps transition from distress to hope in the time it takes to go to the bathroom.
Hold it right in front of you like this, Patricia.
Yeah.
The other side so we can see the cover. We want our audience to be able to.
Yeah.
Got the butterfly on there. It's a bluish gray cover, nice, beautiful blue butterfly. And it's #1 where?
The butterfly is a commode.
In a commode. That's right. And where is it #1? Well, we're talking about #2, but oh no, where's it #1?
It's #1 in the United States, Canada, Great Britain, France, and Germany. #2 in Australia. So Ed, you got to get your people getting copies of it.
Well, that's because they're in Australia, the flush goes the opposite direction. So it'll take a little bit to go to #1.
And it was mentioned and it wasn't 1 or 2, but in India it is ranked.
Okay.
And because we made #1 in both categories that we were submitted in, Amazon put us in a 3rd category, and we made #1 in this category also.
Wow. Congratulations.
There's such a need. There's such a need.
Absolutely.
And Patricia, are you doing?
And it's under $10, so nobody can use the thing. I can't afford it. That was deliberate, because if people can afford the internet, they can afford the book.
Yeah.
Right.
There you go. And has it got a digital version too, or just the physical version?
It does have an ebook version also, and that's under $5.
Okay, great. So yeah, no excuse. I mean, because everybody can read it on their phone. They can download the Kindle app and read it on their phone. So we've got about 10 minutes left. Paul, do you have questions for Patricia?
Yeah, I just need to get an autograph book for my co-host. Now I feel bad that I have an autograph book. I have to send Patricia more money just for my podcast host. So Patricia, I'll send you money. I know where to send you the money.
Okay.
So I'll send you money. You have to, after the call, connect with Ed and get his address so you can send it directly to him.
Okay.
So I have another question, Patricia. Did you do the book by yourself, or did you have a little bit of help getting it out there and getting it ranked and that sort of thing?
The butterfly method itself is mine.
Right.
So the acronym EMPOWERED came from Simona Moyer in Scotland.
Okay.
And she also is the one who came up with our logo.
Right.
And every letter of EMPOWERED stands for one of the steps: exit, move, pivot, on, off for the muscle relaxation, way out, etc.
Got it.
And people that have an acronym, many times it's easier for them to. So on the back, she is off. I don't know if you can see that. There's me and her, and because this is all God's work, there is the sign of God in the center.
Right. Got it. Cool.
So
go on.
And Baby Steps Publishing out of Portugal is the publisher.
Wow, an international collaboration.
Exactly.
That is.
This is a worldwide situation.
Yeah, we have worldwide guest on here.
Released. When was this book released?
Recently.
May 13th.
Okay. So it especially since COVID, I think there's a lot of people that suffered during COVID was one of the biggest challenges. So having a book like this and a resource that they can go to, do you go around speaking on this, Patricia, or is there social media tied into this? what's the plan?
The and this is the I got the idea of spreading the message in November of 19. Took a speaking course to do it. Finished it in February of 20, and guess what hit in March of 20?
Yeah, no events, no speaking. Yes.
So I was forced against my will to leave local and get onto the internet and learn enough to be dangerous. And that is how it's right now. There's at least one person on every continent except Africa and Antarctica who have personally been taught by me the
Wow.
butterfly method.
Cool.
And Simona is one of the people that was taught, and so she got involved in like push for getting the book written and the logo and the acronym. So she is listed as the co-author.
Got it. Got it. And so what's next for you?
Basically in July, I'm set to be on a TV show. And so I am actively attempting to get speaking engagements wherever, because I dream of waking up to mass media news saying there have been no suicides in the world reported in the last week.
That would be awesome. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely awesome. And
So-
I'm going to do whatever I can to have that happen.
Cool. And so how can people support you or follow you, find you?
Our website is empoweredbutterflymethod.com. There is a link there, like a Patreon link to help fund, because none of this comes free,
Right.
unfortunately. And the other way is get a hold of me. Again, that is on the website, Economy Free Space. And get me or Simona speaking. We're willing to go any place our costs are covered.
Right. Well, cool. And folks, we'll have contact information for Patricia in the show notes. Her website is empoweredbutterflymethod.com. Paul, any last minute thoughts?
Yeah, usual humor. I've never been a big advocate of doctors. I love this doctor. I love this doctor more than my own personal doctor.
Thank you.
I guess he's not one of our listeners, huh?
Yeah, or one of our what's the word I'm looking for? Sponsors.
Okay, there you go.
We seem to turn away a lot of sponsors. Like I was going to mention earlier, turning away sponsors. When Ed was here in New York last August, he had an opportunity to get that New York attitude. So he took some pictures of the filth that we have here in New York around Walgreens and sent it to the Walgreens management to let them know, clean up the parking lot. That's a New York attitude. That's a New York attitude.
Just
So,
trying to
I
help.
love this doctor. This is, you know what a need there is for this? No wonder it's number one. We should be promoting this book. We should be on TV, Ed.
Yeah, well, we are. We have our own YouTube channel.
That's true.
That's true.
Yeah.
And we have 4 people now watching, so maybe 5 with Patricia.
That's right. Yeah, maybe 5. So no, the thing is, this stuff's going to stay out there, and it's going to help people, and it's going to wake them up. Right. That's the goal. Is Wake Up Call with Ed and Paul is about bringing like people like Patricia on, because we meet all these amazing people, whether it be through Alignable or LinkedIn or in person or through BNI. We meet these amazing people that have amazing stories, and they can help others. So that's why we do what we do, Paul, just like Patricia's doing what she does. That's why I spend so much time on humor. Patricia, did you find any correlation between laughter and humor and having more positive thoughts?
The answer to that is back when I had the idiopathic pulmonary fibrosis, Western medicine gave me 0 chance of survival. So I've turned around and said, well, what else is out there? And then I got things like Tai Chi and humor and things like that. I actually started Doc's Daily Chuckle, which was in Ezine, started out with less than 10 people, grew it to into the thousands, and it was just too much to keep that up with everything else. And so after 25 years, I did my last Doc's Daily Chuckle. So absolutely, humor. There is my byline on Doc's Daily Chuckle was humor is the best medicine. So you're right on, Ed, with your humor.
And now our show could have a new tagline. One of my favorite taglines that many people have stolen. No, I mean borrowed from me because I gave them permission. So now our new tagline will be saving lives one podcast at a time. Saving lives one podcast. Because you're right, Ed. Somebody could see this podcast 5 years from now. And even before they got the book, it could save their life.
Right.
Because save them in the right
While saving their life, they'll be getting the book.
Exactly.
And then they'll be able to save someone else's life. That's what this podcast is all about.
Yeah, they don't have any excuse.
And if anybody knows a charitable umbrella that we can go under, I'm looking for that because we would have more reach by being able to reach out, as a nonprofit.
So, folks, if you're out there and if you're at a nonprofit that works with suicidal individuals or preventing suicide, get with Patricia and see if you guys can't collaborate. That's the thing. I was talking to somebody the other day and they said, people that are down here as entrepreneurs are down there because they're competing with other people like them. People that are up here as entrepreneurs and nonprofits are because they collaborate with each other. And that's the difference. It's not a scarcity mindset. It's an abundance mindset. And working together and all rowing the boat together, we can help more people.
Exactly. A rising tide raises all ships.
There you go.
And when you're competing, you're making a red ocean. It's too bloody to exist in.
Right.
And when you're collaborating, it's a blue ocean, nice and full of life.
Awesome.
And in this case, a rising tide raises other countries. So Australia, let's get to number one.
Well, sometimes
move you to number one, Australia.
Rising tide can sink countries too. Just ask the Maldives. Yeah. So I'm just saying.
We're saying it raises the boats if you put all them.
Wait a minute. The interrupter. Wait a minute. We're running out of time. We've got another podcast guest coming. We haven't had one dad joke on this podcast. Not one dad joke.
Well, it's been a kind of a serious thing, but my favorite dad joke, poop jokes. We started with talking about commodes and stuff. Poop jokes aren't my favorite, but they're a solid number 2.
There you go.
And to give a nice clean one, the 4-year-old was taken to church for the first time, and the minister and a few others were walking down the aisles, and were carrying candles. The 4-year-old looks around and goes, "Happy birthday to you."
Yeah, that's true. Hey, thank you so much.
So many of our jokes have pastors and priests and religious people in them.
Yeah, if you need somebody to take over Chuckles, you and I should talk because that's my bag. So if you want somebody to continue on with that, I'm getting this little guy made. Let me see here. This little guy is being made right now, and he's going to be 7 inches tall, and he's going to have a little button down here. And every time you press the button, you'll get a different dad joke. So my favorite line I put on the back, he says, Ed Fox's special ed is not a quiet guy, but he is quite a guy.
I like that.
That's my tagline.
I like that. I like that tagline.
Thanks so much for Patricia for being on the show, and keep us up to date with what's going on.
I will do that. Thanks
Awesome.
for having me and spreading the word.
Thank you.
Like a butterfly.
There you go.
It spreads and the wings are open. That they're the most beautiful.
There you go. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Patricia.
Well, that's it for this edition of the Wake Up Call with Ed and Paul. Thanks for listening. As always, we appreciate it. And if you'd like to subscribe, you can do that on your favorite podcast platform or YouTube. Thanks a lot and have a great day.